On a Friday night in Jefferson City, Tennessee, we welcome you inside Holt Fieldhouse for a South Atlantic Conference clash as the Carson-Newman Eagles face the Catawba College Catawba Indians to kickstart homecoming weekend. Thanks for joining me on the Eagles Sports Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. Delighted you could make me a part of your Friday night. Two teams coming in with some winning streaks. Catawba, winners of 3 consecutive matches. Carson-Newman, meanwhile, has won their last 4. Catawba has battled throughout this season, and they have gotten back to 500 as they've won their last 3 South Atlantic Conference matches, all via sweeps against Newberry most recently, but also taking down Mars Hill and Tusculum in the process. They now come into a building that they have not won in since October 1st, 2016. A 5-set thriller. They have since lost the last 6 meetings inside Holt Fieldhouse against the Eagles, who, as I mentioned, winners of 4 straight, currently sit 4th in the South Atlantic Conference with a 7-3 mark, 16-3 overall. This is a battle between Carson-Newman, who's in 4th, Catawba is in 5th, so 2 teams jockeying for position. And for Carson-Newman, this match is to prove that you are in that top flight of South Atlantic Conference teams. The 3 losses that Carson-Newman has suffered this season are to 3 teams in front of them. In Wingate, who's ranked inside the top 25, Lenore Rhine and Anderson. And Catawba just below them. They've beaten everybody else. So Carson-Newman trying to prove that they are one of the top 4 teams in this conference. And so here they are taking on Catawba. The starting lineups are being announced, so let's take a look at them. Blair Cherry starts at the setter position for Carson-Newman. On the outsides are Emerson Osmus and Annie Dzikowski. Maddie Hurst and Bella Cardello are in the middle, and the do-it-all Rachel Ehlers starts once again. That has been the new starting lineup for head coach Kat Collins, who is returning to the bench after the birth of her child Palmer, so we welcome back Coach Collins. And then also the libero, the junior captain, Trinity Hafey, rounds out the starting lineups for Carson-Newman. Meanwhile, on Catawba's end, Sophia Beard starts on the outside. Lily Kate Rogers, who has been red hot as of late with 3 straight matches with double-digit kills, starts as well on the outside. Haley Moffitt is one of 2 setters that you'll see tonight for Catawba. Sydney Waddles is in the middle, along with Matrina Foster. And Annika Kegel, another opposite hitter in this Catawba lineup, and rounding things out is the libero Riley Hill. Catawba is in its road blue uniforms with white piping and red stripes with the red numbers and white outlines. Libero Hill is in the alternate red top. Carson-Newman in the home whites. Hafey in the alternate blue. Homecoming weekend getting set to get going inside Holt Fieldhouse. It's been homecoming week, and now all classes are done. Student section has filled out nicely as Carson-Newman looks to make it 5 consecutive wins and 7 straight at home against Catawba, who has battled back to get to 500, so they're 8-8 on the year. They're trying to get to 500 in conference play. With a win tonight, they would get to 6-6. Brenton Ferguson is at the helm of this Catawba squad in her 4th season, and getting us underway is Lily Kate Rogers. And straight to the outside for Blair Cherry. She finds Emerson Osmus, who continues on her tear this season. Going for straight power off the block. Osmus leads the sack in terms of kills per sets, and points per set. A do-it-all player as it's tapped over by Kegel. Reaches it over the block of Cherry and Hurst on the outside. Or excuse me, Dzikowski and Hurst. Hurst from the outside is turned away. It is covered by Carson-Newman. And Dzikowski goes into the cross court and dots the line. Emerson Osmus will draw so much attention for this Carson-Newman team, but Dzikowski on the other end, sophomore out of Aiken, South Carolina, has been such a big compliment, and she is such a threat at the service line. And right on cue, she catches that back line First service ace of the evening for Carson-Newman. A great look at that knuckling serve. This Carson-Newman team averaging just under 2 service aces per set. Well, there's 2 in a row. And Carson-Newman chaining together points, up 4-1. That dropping in right in front of Sophia Beard in the back row. Tough receive for Kate Rogers. Osmus to the outside. What a one-armed up by Hill. Hurst the tap down, and Beard has no answer. Maddie Hurst, the reigning SAC Freshman of the Year, has found her form in her sophomore season. 4 straight matches with double-digit kills, including a career high against Coker a week ago with 23 as Dizikowski sends it into the net, and we get our first look at a few substitutions. Our first look at the 6-2 setup for Catawba as Moffitt comes out and Tammy Bodo comes in, the freshman out of Luxembourg. Also sliding into the front row is Jordan Duznak. Avery Sixeye is coming in the back row, and she lets that one fly out of bounds. Carson-Newman back up by 4 points, as here comes Addie Smith into serve. Smith was a regular starter, but some changes has put the outside hitter slash setter more into the back row as of late. Duznak from the outside. Smith with a nice up from the back row. And Osmus utilizes the block. Pushes Carson-Newman up by 5. And Emerson Osmus, such a smart player. You get a nice look at the net cam. She knows she's going to see 2 every time she goes up for a swing. Foster, too strong, drills the referee in the back row. It also caught a tip on it, so Catawba gets one back. It's a 7-3 deficit. As Allie Rose has come in, as Sophia Beard will head to the bench. Rose in her freshman season out of Hickory, North Carolina, has been a strong serving presence, but hard to stop that defense from Carson-Newman. It was a tough receive for Avery Sixeye, but Blair Cherry continues to cook throughout this season. Has been so dangerous on those setter dumps throughout the year. And she gets it going from the service line. The third ace in this opening frame from Carson-Newman. That's going to prompt a timeout from Brent Ferguson and Catawba. A rambunctious night inside Holt Fieldhouse, and it's a hot start for Carson-Newman. They lead at 9-3 in the early goings of set 1. Back after this on the Eagles Sports Network. Back inside Holt Fieldhouse, 9-3 the advantage for Carson-Newman in this opening set. Matt Scalzo with you. Glad you could join me on the Eagles Sports Network. Blair Cherry looks to keep things moving along, and she will, as there was an error in Catawba's setup. So Carson-Newman, the first to double digits. Cherry will continue to serve. Already 3 aces in this opening frame for Carson-Newman as Jordan Duznak responds out of the timeout with a cross-court kill. Duznak, a redshirt junior from Loveland, Colorado, has been inserted into this lineup for Catawba as of late, averaging 2 kills per set over her last 5. Osmus the roll shot. Nice dig from Foster. Lily Kate Rogers tries again from the outside and is denied. Is the 3rd time the charm. And it is for Rogers. Was turned away a pair of times by the double block from Carson-Newman. 2 good recoveries from Catawba, and she pushes it down the line to cut the deficit in half. Ehlers gets a tip, kept up by Rose in the back row. Six-eye with a nice read off the deflection. And a roll shot from Cherry. And Ehlers was looking for the cut shot. A miscue, just didn't catch it right. And Catawba brings it down to a 4-point deficit. Matrina Foster is back to serve, a transfer from nearby Tusculum in her first season with Catawba. Has been a huge boost in the lineup. And that goes out of bounds off the block. Duznak with her 2nd kill. A 4-0 run from Catawba as Foster with a line drive received by Six-Eye. Beautiful dig in the back row, keeps the point alive. And that came from Rose. Ehlers the tap over. Duznak. It was a tough setup, and an out-of-system Catawba team saw Foster have the set. And that 4-0 run comes to a close as Carson-Newman gets back up by 4. Just popped off the hand of Duznak. Line drive from Osmus. Tracking it back goes the libero Hill. And a free dump leads to a chance for Carson-Newman. Ehlers from the 10-foot line drops it into the back corner. Rachel Ehlers, transferred from Coastal Carolina, was a prolific beach volleyball player. 98 wins on the beach, most in program history for the Chanticleers. Has returned to the court and has been a huge boost for Carson-Newman, as has Annie Dzikowski, starring in her sophomore season. And just like that, Carson-Newman has stretched its advantage up to 6 after a 4-0 run from the Catawba Indians. As Sydney Waddles answers back. Started the season out hot with a career-high 11 kills in the opener against Lees McRae. Struggled in the middle portion, but over the last week and a half, Waddles has turned it on, posted her best performance last time out against Newberry with 7 kills. Dzikowski, the roll shot, and just found nobody in the heart of the Catawba defense. Dzikowski off to a hot start, 3 swings and 3 kills for the super sophomore. Osmus, the one arm up. Cherry slides in and a free ball from Hayfeet. Waddles tapped over but turned away by Maddie Hurst. A solo block and kill potentially combined into one for Hurst. It will go down as a solo block. She has turned it on over the last month for Maddie Hurst, which a huge big boost in this Carson-Newman attack. A 7-point lead for Carson-Newman. Dzikowski goes 4 for 4. doubling up Catawba, and there's another timeout from Brent Ferguson. Carson-Newman feeling good right at home. 9 kills, just 1 attacking error. The Eagles hitting .421 in this opening set. They're doubling up Catawba. It's 16-8 in the opening frame. Back after this on the Eagles Sports Network. Back inside Holt Fieldhouse, a 16-8 lead for Carson-Newman in this opening frame to kick off homecoming weekend in Jefferson City. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Delighted you could make me a part of your Friday night. Carson-Newman riding a 3-0 run. They have had multiple chains throughout this first set of points to build on this lead, and they've been so dynamic from the service line as Trinity Hayfie gets us going out of the Catawba timeout. Ehlers a nice read off the deflection. Dzikowski goes into the cross court. And Lily Kate Rogers is turned away by the net. And Catawba gets called for 4 touches. Carson-Newman has not lost to Catawba in this building in nearly a decade. October 1st, 2016 was the last time Catawba won inside Holt Fieldhouse. As Lily Kate Rogers runs into a brick wall. Maddie Hurst and Rachel Ehlers meet her at the summit for a double block. As that catapulted back onto the Catawba end. A double-digit lead for Carson-Newman in this opening set. Blocked but covered by Hayfie. Osmus tapped over by Cagle. Pinballing around, it's a free ball roll shot from Dzikowski. And Osmus tiptoes out of the way as the swing from Rogers is off the mark. And after all that, running around for Carson-Newman, they are rewarded with an 11-point lead and a 6-0 scoring run. Hayfie, a teardrop serve. Another block and another cover. Cagle, too strong. That's the second time this official has caught a sizzler down the line from this Catawba team. As Carson-Newman is the first to 20. Someone might want to check on him after this break. Lily Kate Rogers, a soft touch, blocked by Carson-Newman. Here comes a free ball. In system, a swing for Hurst. Diving save by Hill. Creeps over. Dzikowski is blocked. Smacked around by Hurst. And it drops in. Everything is coming up Carson-Newman's way. Trinity Hayfie getting an assist with her shoulder, maybe her face as well. She goes back to serve. An 8-0 Carson-Newman run keeps on going. The bump from Hayfie to Dzikowski on the outside. The pipe from Osmus. Beautiful save from Rose. She forces a free ball over. The setter dump and a pancake dig from Hill. An outstanding rally between these two. Rose once again. And Catawba gets a much-needed point to halt that 8-0 run from Carson-Newman. phenomenal digs, and it ends with a kill from Lily Kate Rogers. Tip of the cap to Riley Hill, the libero, with a pancake dig to save that point. Ehlers answers with a smart shot off the block. This is a wrinkly offense from Carson-Newman. Just so many ways and so many different players in the folds for Carson-Newman to get points. Ehlers, one of those, who has been inserted into the starting lineup at the midway point this season, and she has been a monster get in the portal as Dzikowski misses down the line. Catawba creeps into double figures. Of course, Ehlers coming back onto the hardwood. As I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, a prolific beach volleyball player at Coastal Carolina. Here comes Hurst from the outside, and Maddie Hurst continues on her ferocious tear throughout the season. Third kill of the night for the sophomore middle blocker. Has been averaging just under 4 kills per set across her last 4 matches, as Carson-Newman creeps ever closer to that opening set win. And a miscommunication, both Osmus and Hurst jumping in unison. Leads to 4 touches. But such a big advantage for Carson-Newman. They have kept this Catawba offense locked in a refrigerator, hitting 029 coming into this point. Hill once again, and a free ball from Catawba. Hurst times her jump this time and gets another kill. That's her 4th tying Dzikowski for a match high, and Carson-Newman moves on to set point in set number 1. Addie Smith comes in to serve. And a touch too strong, sails over the back line. Serving has been such a big part of Carson-Newman's identity throughout the season, and especially so tonight. 4 aces for the Eagles. Not just their second error. As Allie Rose checks into the back line for Catawba, she's got the ball for the serve. Not a lot has gone the way of Catawba in this first set, but a strong serve creates an in-system opportunity. Foster is blocked. It is covered and punched over by Duznak. Nice read by Catawba. So that goes off the block. And it was hit out of bounds. Did not catch the block of Carson-Newman. And so Carson-Newman storms ahead in this first set, and they don't look back. A 25-12 win in this opening frame, setting the tone to kick off homecoming weekend inside Holt Fieldhouse. Back after this on the other side of this break on the Eagles Sports Network. Second set action coming up inside Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman storms away in that opening frame, a 25-12 win in set one. As we take a look back at the first set stats, 0-28 hitting percentage for Catawba. As I said, it has not been the Catawba Indians night so far. 7 kills, 6 errors. Meanwhile, for Carson-Newman, well, they continue to pick up right where they left off. Winners of 4 straight. They've hit above 200 in their last 5 matches, spearheaded by the effort of Blair Cherry, who has had 8 assists in that opening frame. The Eagles looking to continue right where they left off here in set number 2. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Maddie Hurst and Annie Dizakowski leading the charge for the Eagles. 4 kills apiece. That's a team and match high. Meanwhile, on the other side for Catawba, Lily Kate Rogers and Jordan Duznak, both with a pair of kills. For a team that did not have many kills to build upon in set 1, they'll look to bounce back in this second frame, as Carson-Newman looks to make it 5 consecutive wins and 7 consecutive against Catawba inside Holt Fieldhouse. All-time, Catawba leads the series 40-36. And these two teams have split the last 4 meetings to apiece. Carson-Newman won in a sweep last season. Set 2 gets underway with the serve from Trinity Hayfee. Dizakowski finds Hardwood off the roll shot. And Annie Dizakowski picks up right where she left off from that opening set. Kill number 5. Hayfee, a strong serve, and there is the 5th ace for Carson-Newman already. Had 4 in the first set. And they like the tune they're playing. They're going to continue to attack from the service line, and Hayfee, one of the best. That is her 18th service ace of the season. Hurst doesn't catch a touch, and Catawba gets on the board in set 2. Riley Hill, second team All-SAC as a freshman, now in her junior season. Nothing she could do about that one, as Ehlers bruises that inside the 10-foot line. And Beard got up late from the block, or to form the block, rather. That serve finds the back corner. Late call from the officials, but dotting that back line goes Catawba, and Annika Cagle picking up her second kill. Dizakowski turned away. First time we've seen the block of Catawba rear its head. Duznak and Foster joining forces. There's really a wide gap between Foster and Duznak, so more of the credit goes to Jordan Duznak to create that and bring us into a tie. And it's now Catawba's first lead of the night, as catching a touch at the net goes Duznak. Pushes Catawba in front. Soft touch from Dizakowski, read by Bodo. Tough set. Dizakowski sprawls over. Punching it across goes Rogers. And Hurst. No one went up to meet her. And the long arms of Maddie Hurst ties us at 4. Stopping a 3-0 run from Catawba. Tight angle shot from Duznak. She misses the mark, and Carson-Newman is back in front. More on Maddie Hirsch. She has just been a star over the last month, hitting .400 tonight. And is one of the best in the conference in terms of hitting percentage. 5th in the SAC, leads this Carson-Newman team. Came into tonight at a .293 hitting percentage, as Carson-Newman capitalizes on another Catawba error. They lead by a pair, and now it's down to one, as Dizakowski finds the net. Avery Sixeye checks into the match, as does Allie Rose on Catawba's end. Rose goes back to serve. Freshman has had a strong start for her career in Salisbury. Hafey lifts it over. And Hafey races towards the bleachers. Free ball from Cherry, an in-system opportunity for Catawba. And they take advantage. Duznak utilizing that strong double block from Osmus and Hurst. Evens us at 6. And a strong pass from Cherry sets up Emerson Osmus, whose name we haven't called in a while, just her second kill tonight. And number 5 in white has been such a huge part of this Carson-Newman offense, one of the best in the country to do it. Currently ranking 17th in the country in terms of kills per set. Coming off 20 kills against Mars Hill. That is the 12th most in a 3-set match in Carson-Newman history. Catawba keeps peppering Carson-Newman and eventually get rewarded with a kill. All even at 7. And strong serves from Catawba has kept Carson-Newman off bounce. And there is the first ace of the night for the Catawba College Catawba Indians. It comes from Matrina Foster. As I mentioned, a transfer from Tusculum, had a stellar first 3 years with the Pioneers. Osmus misses down the line, and Catawba leads by a pair. Foster with another line drive serve, floats over. And a free ball comes from Foster. Back set to Cardello on the slide. She can't find the line. So Catawba flipping the script. They're the first to double figures in set number 2. Osmus into the cross court, uncontested. BB from Emerson Osmus rifling through this Catawba defense. And nothing they could do about it in the back end. Cherry goes back to Osmus. The roll shot catches Catawba off guard. And a free ball. Cardello through the middle, catapulted up. Waddles goes down the line and gets a point on the other end. This has been a balanced attack for Catawba, as it has been this entire season. New pieces stepping up. Lily Kate Rogers has been the main go-to piece, but she has struggled. 3 kills on 17 swings. Waddles picks up her second kill. Osmus turned away, and there is the first block of the night for Catawba. Or rather, their second, excuse me. The lead jumps up to 4. Largest advantage of the night for Catawba. Back set to Cagle, and she utilizes the block. It's a 5-point lead for Catawba, and Kat Collins is going to burn her first time out of the night. Catawba comes out firing after a stagnant set 1. They lead 13-8. Midway through set 2, back on the other side of this break on the Eagles Sports Network. Catawba changing its tune, leads 13-8 in this opening. Lost my train of thought there. Hold on. We're back. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Catawba leads 13-8 in the second set. A complete flip of the script. They only had 12 points throughout that entire first set. They got more here, and they got a 5-point lead over Carson-Newman to kick off homecoming weekend. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. This Catawba offense felt like it was locked in a refrigerator in set 1. Hit 0-28 in that first frame, and here in set number 2, they're hitting 235. They've come alive, and as Kat Collins was expecting, it has been a match full of runs. And Catawba currently riding its hot run. 4 straight points belonging to the Catawba College Catawba Indians. And that drawing some disagreement from this Carson-Newman crowd. Refusing to give up on the point is Catawba. Cardello couldn't get the kill. What a beautiful sliding dig from Rose in the back row. And Rogers is too strong, but catches a touch at the net. And so instead of it being down to a 5-point lead, it blossoms up to a 7-point advantage. Just catching the fingertips of Emerson Osmus. And when everything was coming up Carson-Newman's way in the set 1, it has now come up all Catawba College in set 2, doubling up the Eagles 16-8. Claire Bolton has checked in the back row. She's tested early, as Ehlers answers back and halts that long chain of points from Catawba, a 6-0 run. Built that lead up to 8. It's down to 7 after the kill from Rachel Ehlers. Is pinned against the net by Ehlers. Comes back to Catawba's end, and a sizzler from Lily Kate Rogers. No response from Trinity Hayfie. And this is a very different Catawba team, not only that we saw from set 1, but also from last season. This was a team that went 4-21 in Bren Ferguson's third year at the helm. They've already doubled their win total from last season and trying to get above 500 with a potential win tonight as Lily Kate Rogers sails it long. A totally different looking Carson-Newman team that we saw from set 1. The offense not clicking. Hitting negative 080 in set 2. And Ehlers bringing this crowd back to life and bringing the lead down to 6. This Carson-Newman team in set 1 hit 278. Prior to that kill from Ehlers, had 6 kills with 8 errors. And credit to this Catawba defense. They have been filling the lanes that Carson-Newman has found most of the night, and right now they are playing with a gritty intensity to it. But we saw towards the tail end of set one, refusing to let the ball hit the hardwood, and now fighting tooth and nail for every point, trying to even this at one set apiece. Tough set to Cagle. Hurst pushes it towards the back corner. By any means necessary for both sides, Maddie Hurst capitalizes and gets kill number 6. Set to the middle with Foster. There's Dzikowski. Hill with a one-arm full extension save. Dzikowski again. And here comes Carson-Newman. Eagles finding some life. Dzikowski, kill number 6 for her. Cherry the tap over. A 3-0 run from Carson-Newman will prompt a timeout from Bren Ferguson. Catawba jumped out to a big advantage. Carson-Newman crawling back into it. Set 2 is going to have an exciting finish. Find out how it ends on the other side of this break on the Eagle Sports Network. Catawba trying to even the match at one apiece. They lead 18-14 over Carson-Newman in set number 2 on this Friday night in Jefferson City, a South Atlantic Conference clash to kick off homecoming weekend for Carson-Newman. And it's been a good one so far. 25-12 the win for Carson-Newman in set 2, or in set 1 rather. They're going to have to fight a little harder to get the win in set number 2. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Rachel Ehlers will have the ball for Carson-Newman, who are riding a 3-0 run as it stands right now. Set to the outside, Cagle. Ricochets off the block. Here comes Dzikowski from the outside. A roll shot from Lily Kate Rogers, and she stretches her arms out wide. As out of the timeout, Catawba has its answer. Finds Carson-Newman napping in the middle of its defense. Up to a 5-point lead. Floated over from Catawba. Hurst right down Main Street. Hurst has been so exceptional, not only tonight, but as I've said across the last month. That puts her into a match-high 7 kills, hitting .500 on the night. 23 kills, a career high against Coker a week ago. 12th most in a match by a Carson-Newman player all time, as Emerson Osmus finds a touch at the net and brings it down to a 3-point deficit. Osmus had 20 kills in the 3-match sweep over Mars Hill on Tuesday. That is the second most in a 3-set match in Carson-Newman history, as Dzikowski picks up an ace, and the Eagles are within 2. Service ace number 6 for this Eagles team. And the matter of points, Bren Ferguson has to burn both of her timeouts. That has seen this advantage that grew as big as 7 dwindle down to 2. Understanding the importance of this second set and how clinical Carson-Newman has been when they take that commanding 2-0 lead, and really just how big it is in any match overall to take that 2-0 lead, and how the complexion of this match can change if it's evened at 1. We'll keep it here on the Eagles Sports Network. Taking a look at the stats. It's a 3-0 run for Carson-Newman. Maddie Hurst leading the way across the whole entire match with 7 kills. Tizikowski and Ehlers right behind her with 6. Lily Kate Rogers, 6 kills for Catawba as well. As we come out of the timeout inside Holt Fieldhouse, Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Catawba clinging to a 2-0 lead, but Carson-Newman fighting back, trailed by as many as 7 in this second set. Trailing by just a pair of points as Annie Tizikowski awaits Catawba breaking its timeout. Fresh off a service ace, the 6th of the night for Carson-Newman. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Delighted you could join me on this Friday night to kick off homecoming weekend. And Tizikowski gets us going out of the timeout. Blocked but covered. Duznak. Here's Osmus, a soft touch. Bumped over to Duznak. Catches a ricochet, but Hafey reads it. Hill skying in. And it hits off the high ceiling inside Holt Fieldhouse. And since it was last touched by Catawba, it ends in a point for Carson-Newman. Eagles are within 1. And Hurst thought she got a touch. She did not. Catawba gets a much-needed point, stopping a 4-0 run, and they're the first to 20. Catawba College, Catawba Indians looking to chain together some points to close out set number 2. Had a strong surge in the middle of this set, trying to find that gear once more. Osmus runs into a wall. It is covered and pushed over by Cherry. Duznak couldn't recover, and Carson-Newman back within 1. I have a feeling that this second set is going to be a lot of nip and tug in this race to 25. Might need some free volleyball to find a conclusion in set 2. Tough receive for Rose. Bodo races back. Set to Osmus. Hill with a sliding up. Smith reads it in the middle. Osmus too strong with the roll shot. Hafey will check back in as Hurst and Smith depart. Matrina Foster at the service line for Catawba. Osmus into the cross court and delivers it right in front of Matrina Foster. Osmus starting to come alive, has been held hitting negative for most of the night and still is. Hitting negative 0.48 as that serve goes long from Cherry. And what has been such a strong part of Carson-Newman's night so far at the service line with 6 aces, that is their 4th error. And Catawba trying to crawl across the finish line in this second set, evening us at 1 potentially. And that goes long. So the two teams trade service errors. No aces on the night for the Indians so far. That is their 3rd error. Tough receive for Rose, but a strong setup to Rogers. Beautiful dig from Hafey. Tizikowski. Waddles down the middle. They don't go to Waddles often, but when they do, Catawba usually is able to find a point. And Waddles not facing much contention, capitalizes, and Kat Collins will take her second timeout in this second set. Catawba 2 points away from taking the set 2 victory. We'll be back after this on the Eagle Sports Network. Catawba 2 points away from taking set 2 inside Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman stormed away in set 1. Catawba has brought the fight in set 2, and they need a pair of points to even it at 1 set apiece. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. A poppin' Friday night in Jefferson City to kick off homecoming weekend. Lily Kate Rogers looks to kickstart Catawba out of this timeout, looking for 2 more points. Swatted over by Hill. The cross-court swing from Beard goes long. And that is how it has been over the last handful of points. Catawba inches ahead by 2. Carson-Newman brings it back within 1. Can they get it to a tie? No, the serve goes long from Hayfeet by fractions of an inch. Catawba moves on to set point, trying to even it at 1 apiece. Hill will have the knuckling serve. Hurst dots the line, changing the angle out of the middle. Ehlers, who was a part of a 3-0 run from the service line for Carson-Newman, as Beard ends it in set 2 and evens us at 1. Catawba takes set 2, 25-23, and has changed the whole complexion of this match after 2 sets. It was a dominant set 1 from Carson-Newman. Ran into trouble as Catawba woke up in set 2, all square through 2. Set 3 coming up after this on the other side of this break on the Eagle Sports Network.
Becoming just the second team from the Southeast region to take a set off an opponent in the national quarterfinals. At this time, we would like to introduce those members to you. First, from Franklin, Tennessee, Taylor Lowe Morris. From Morristown, Tennessee, Lindsay Wells Barnett. From Franklin, Tennessee, second team All-Sac setter Anna Patton. From Lake Orion, Michigan, Tina Hill. From Monroe, North Carolina, 2015 SAC Freshman of the Year, Natalie Harris. From Pittstown, New Jersey, Arlene Anderson. From College Grove, Tennessee, D2CCA, second team All-Region, and Hero Sports Outside Hitter of the Year, Molly Locke Bradshaw. From Ladera Ranch, California, Morgan Harlan. Plainfield, Illinois, Maddie Seibert. From Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, Hannah Robertson Leghorn. From Walnut Creek, California, D2CCA, second team all-region, Maddie Borch. From Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Megan Morris Tinney. From Charlotte, North Carolina, SAC Scholar Athlete of the Year, All-SAC First Teamer, and NCAA Division II Championship All-Tournament Team, Sarah Fairley Parkerson. Also in attendance tonight from the coaching staff, Rachel Harper Sakara, Kristen Pickett Davis, and Lauren Santorelli. Ladies and gentlemen, with the members of this team present, we do have a special announcement to make. On February 14th, we will present our annual Distinguished Service Awards when Carson-Newman basketball takes on Wingate. One of the awards being presented is the Frosty Hull Award, which goes to the person who personifies the athletic department's vision of glorifying Christ through comprehensive excellence. We are proud to announce that this year's winner will posthumously go to Kirby Ellis Toribio. Ladies and gentlemen, please give one more big round of applause for Carson-Newman's 2015 volleyball team, the first volleyball team to win a Southeast Region title in school history.
Catawba takes set two and evens this match at 1 apiece. Carson-Newman with a dominant set one win, 25-12, but Catawba inches their way across the finish line with a 25-23 win in set number two. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. You heard it during the break. The 2015 women's volleyball team honored during the break, as we'll now take a look back at the stats through two sets. That hitting percentage for Carson-Newman took a hit. They just hit 190 in set number two. Or rather, that's across the entire match. In set number two, the Eagles just hit 125. Meanwhile, for Catawba, they hit 214. And for an offense that was stuck in purgatory, they found some life in set number two. See what they can do in set number three. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Carson-Newman and Catawba kicking off homecoming weekend in Jefferson City. It has been a rambunctious crowd inside Holt Fieldhouse so far, and they're looking to use this crowd to spur on their Eagles. A little bit of a delay to begin this third set, and there was, of course, the honoring of the 2015 women's volleyball team. It was the first women's volleyball team to win the Southeast region in program history. On this 2025 Eagles team, trying to use some of their greatness to answer back in set number three as Lily Kate Rogers attacks Claire Bolton to open up set three, and it's a free ball to Catawba's end. And Sydney Waddles, a punctuation mark to start set three. Kill number 5 for Sydney Waddles, middle blocker who isn't counted on a tremendous amount, has started to find her groove inside Holt Fieldhouse. Osmus from the outside, turned away, but it is covered. Ehlers with another cover. Osmus comes running in, and Rogers has the up. And Beard with a smart touch plays it off the block. Catawba building off its momentum from set 2. Fighting back against this Carson-Newman side that has been reeling since the middle portion of set 2. Osmus, a no-look free ball. Cherry slides in. And it ends in a point for Carson-Newman. Not the most flashy, but sometimes you need a little bit of grit to get that first point. And Carson-Newman has felt this Catawba defense close down its lanes that were so abundant in set 1. Swing is off the mark from Waddles. Evens us up at 2 in the early goings of the third frame. Head coach Cat Collins said ahead of tonight's matchup this was going to be a match full of many scoring runs. We've seen that hold true through 2 frames. Who's going to have the big run in set 3? Ehlers from the outside. It just seemed to hold on that net for a moment. As Beard splits it through Hatefy and Bolton in the back line. And Sophia Beard has found her form. Had 2 kills coming into this third set. Has 2 of the 3 points for Catawba. As Hurst comes back on the other end and continues to build on another stellar match for her. Kill number 10, that makes it 5 consecutive matches with double-digit kills for Maddie Hurst as Ehlers keeps her strong service run alive, and Carson-Newman takes its first lead in the third frame with the 7th service ace of the night for Carson-Newman. As Cagle runs into a brick wall, Osmus and Hurst turn her away with a double block. Fourth block of the night for Carson-Newman. Hurst doing it on the offensive and now the defensive end as well. Beard continues to perform in the early goings of set 3. Her 3rd kill of this set alone. 4th overall on the match. As Tammy Bodo comes in to serve. One of the 2 setters in this 6-2 offense for Catawba. Beard continues to impress. Back-to-back kills from Sophia Beard. She's up to 5 as that serve goes into the net from Bodo. Serve from Osmus was coming in hot and a little too strong, sailed over the back line. And a good read by this back row of Catawba lets it go. All square at 6. Beautiful knuckle serve from Rose. Hurst is denied. Foster and Rogers push Catawba back in front. Just the 3rd error of the night credited to Maddie Hurst. Dzikowski showing off another layer of this Carson-Newman offense. That is her 8th kill, 2nd on this Carson-Newman team, just behind Maddie Hurst. Yeah, Smith catches too much air. Her serve goes long. And she'll check out as Maddie Hurst will come back in. And Trinity Hayfie will take her spot in the back row. Katrina Foster serving for Catawba. The set to Cardello on the slide. She's off the mark. And the clinical Carson-Newman offense that we saw in that first set has yet to come back up, as Foster with some unreal knuckle. It just seemed to plummet out of the sky and drop into that back line. Second ace for Catawba, and another look at it. Freezes Hayfie. How about back-to-back? Catawba was held without an ace through 2 sets. They've got 3 in their first 11 points. And they've got 3 in a row from Katrina Foster. Foster finds a chain of service aces, and it's a 5-point advantage for Catawba. They throw the first punch in set 3. Carson-Newman trying to answer, so Kat Collins burns her first time out in set number 3. Catawba on fire right now, up by 5. We'll be back on the other side of this break on the Eagle Sports Network. Catawba storming out of the gates in set 2, 12-7, their lead, and they're trying to flip this match on its head and take a 2-1 lead overall in the match. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Katrina Foster, 3 consecutive aces. Catawba with 4 in this third set alone. As Carson-Newman has a receive, and out of the timeout, Dzikowski brings this crowd back to life. A sizzler into the cross court, and from a tight angle, gets it to go. This Catawba offense was stagnant through set 1. They found its form over the last 2 sets. Carson-Newman on the other end was on fire in set 1, but they feel like it's almost been like they've been locked inside a refrigerator, this offense, trying to come back to life. And how about back-to-back tight angle shots, as Rachel Ehlers does the same as Annie Dzikowski. Back-to-back points out of the timeout for Carson-Newman. And Sydney Waddles answers back. A soft touch through the middle. Loops it over the defense of Carson-Newman. And the lead is back up to 4. Carson-Newman was hitting above 270 through set 1. It has dropped down to 184 over the last set and a half. An absolute rocket ship of a shot from Catawba. That nearly went into the scoreboard on the other end. And it came from Lily Kate Rogers. The go-to piece in this Catawba offense. That defense starting to find some form, clogging up all the lanes for this Carson-Newman offense. Rogers once more utilizes the block. A stark difference from a Catawba team we saw in the first set that seemed lifeless. Didn't have an answer. Now Carson-Newman is the one searching for a response. They find one there. Off a touch from Cagle. Caught her on the arm, says the official. That halts a 3-0 Catawba run. And Carson-Newman again will have to battle back as they did in set 2. They came up just short. We'll see what set 3 holds, but Lily Kate Rogers continues to get better as this match moves along. Kill number 9, she nears double figures, leading the way for this Catawba College, Catawba Indians squad. And whatever Bren Ferguson said to her team after set 1, it has worked. A completely different squad. As has Sophia Beard in set 3, doing it on the offensive end, but now stonewalling on the defensive end. It's a 7-point advantage, ties the largest of the night for Catawba. As the serve goes long from Lily Kate Rogers. It was around this point in set 2 that Carson-Newman made its surge back. Got within 1 plenty of times in the back half of set 2, but couldn't find that extra point to tie the frame up. Maybe it's the same tune in set 3 as Hurst and Osmus combine for a roof against Annika Cagle. A picture-perfect block, both flying up in unison. And Beard can do no wrong in set 3. Her 5th kill in this set alone. Pushes the advantage back up to 6. Carson-Newman looking for a side out. Osmus gets it. A dime of a pass from Rachel Ehlers on the bump set. And Emerson Osmus, who has been held in check most of the night, gets kill number 6. Hitting triple zeros right now is Osmus, the top attacker in the South Atlantic Conference, as Maddie Hurst continues to make her presence felt on both sides of the net, this time on the defensive end with another block. Beard once more. Hafey with a strong answer. Hurst. There is no stopping Maddie Hurst. A triple block is not enough from Catawba. And uses a cut shot to find the tight angle. And Carson-Newman back within 3. Finds the soft spot and forces a Catawba timeout. The lead was as many as 7 for Catawba in this third frame. It's down to 3. Back after this on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman is on the charge, trailing just by 3. They trailed by as many as 7 in this third frame. Catawba trying to take a 2-1 lead and trying to pick up its first win inside Holt Fieldhouse since 2016. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Coming out of the timeout, Rachel Ehlers will have the serve for Carson-Newman. Trying to build upon this strong run of form. Sophia Beard, though, has the answer out of the timeout. She has been exceptional in this third frame. She's up to 7 kills in the match overall, 6 of those coming in this set alone. A junior outside hitter out of Charlottesville, Virginia, has been pacing the way throughout the season along with Lily Kate Rogers on the offensive end. They go to her again, and she's got it again. Bren Ferguson, the head coach at Catawba, has used her timeouts well. And each time after a timeout, her team has had a strong answer and a strong response. They've got back-to-back points after its most recent timeout. Pinballing around, it's a free ball from Rogers. Osmus is turned away. Duznak and Foster prompt a Carson-Newman timeout. The lead was down to 3. It is now up to 6 as Catawba has stormed out of the timeout with a 3-0 run and sit 4 points away from taking a 2-1 lead in the match overall. We'll keep it right here on the Eagle Sports Network to look at the Carson-Newman huddle. Kat Collins talking with her coaches, Jess Moore, Jordan Ham, and Truth Hayfee, trying to drop something to unlock this Carson-Newman offense that after set 1 was hitting nearly 280, has seen its hitting percentage drop down to 184 as it stands right now, hitting 167 in this third set, in contrast to Catawba that is hitting 320 in this third frame, being paced by Sophia Beard and Lily Kate Rogers. Rogers has 9 kills, but Sophia Beard, she has been the star of this third set. 8 kills on the match, 7 coming in this frame alone, and I will continue to mention it. I may sound like a broken record, but she has just had this outstanding effort to push her squad onto the brink of taking a 2-1 lead, and I said it once, I'll say it again. It has been nearly a decade since Catawba has picked up a win inside this building. October 1st, 2016 was the last time the Indians picked up a win inside Holt Fieldhouse. Kat Collins said this match will be one full of many scoring runs. Catawba has found themselves on the positive end as of late. Does Carson-Newman have one out of its timeout? Cherry goes to the outside with Osmus. A sizzler that Riley Hill had no answer for. Brings the lead down to 5. If you're Carson-Newman, you just got to keep chipping away, staying positive. And Emerson Osmus, who has been held in check most of the night, picks up kill number 7. But is those points right there, the unforced errors that you cannot have in these moments. The service line has been such a big story throughout this match. Allie Rose with a knuckling serve received by Hayfee. And Hurst into the cross court. Bruises it. And brings Carson-Newman back within 5. And so Addie Smith goes back to serve. I talked about the service line. Carson-Newman's got 7 aces, but also 8 errors. Catawba had no aces until they strung 3 in a row from Matrina Foster, who picks up a kill right on cue. The transfer from Tusculum has been so big and such a huge boost into this offense. On the offensive end, the service line where she finds herself now, and defensively. Floats over, and Cherry, with eyes in the back of her head, a no-look dump, drops it inside the far corner, inside the 10-foot line. Another look at it here. Catawba sits 2 points away. Now they sit one. Lily Kate Rogers dropping it in a bucket. Right inside the 10-foot line, they move to set point as Rogers moves into double figures on the night. Kill number 10 for the sophomore outside hitter out of Hartwell, Georgia. And Haley Moffitt, the senior setter, a chance to end it. Floated over, and there is ace number 4 in this third set. An exclamation point on a dominant third set from Catawba. They have taken the last 2 sets, and they lead 2-1 overall on the match. Carson-Newman has been reeling, trying to find an answer. They have found none against Catawba. 1 set away from picking up its first win inside Holt Fieldhouse since 2016. Set 3 on its way on the Eagles Sports Network. Back on the Eagles Sports Network, Catawba 1 set away from picking up its first win inside Holt Fieldhouse since October 1st, 2016. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Carson-Newman hit 278 in the first set, but it has dropped down to 198 overall on the match. They hit 219 in that last frame, but for Catawba, that was hitting 028 through 1 set. Back up to 190. They hit 370 in the third set, paced by Sophia Beard, who was held in check most of the night. By held in check, I mean she didn't have a kill through 1 set. She had 2 through the second set. She's up to 6 kills alone in that third set. Sitting second on the team, just behind Lily Kate Rogers, who's in double figures with 10. Maddie Hurst, meanwhile, leading the way for Carson-Newman. She's got 12. Rachel Ehlers just behind her with 9, but Emerson Osmus, the top hitter in terms of kills per set and points per set in the South Atlantic Conference, has been completely flushed out by this Catawba defense. 7 kills, 7 errors, hitting triple zeros. We'll see what Carson-Newman can do in this fourth set. Catawba has thrown the first punch in each of the last 2 sets to jump ahead, led by as many as 7 in both frames. Carson-Newman crawled back into contention in both of those, but Catawba just had that extra gear more to get across the finish line, and now they need 25 more points to win in set 4 and pick up a marquee win in the 4th season for Bren Ferguson. Comes into tonight 32-57 off a 4-21 season a year ago. Catawba has doubled its win total, got back to 500. They are winners of 3 straight. All have been sweeps. Taking on a Carson-Newman team that is 4th in the South Atlantic Conference at 7-3. All 3 losses are to teams ahead of them in Wingate, Lenore, Ryan, and Anderson. 16-3 overall. And how that first set went, felt like it was going to be win number 5 in a row. But they're going to have to come from behind, something they've been so strong at all season long. Multiple 5-set victories. Going to need another strong set 4 as Trinity Hayfeet gets us going inside Holt Fieldhouse once again. Hurst from the middle. Carson-Newman opens the scoring in set 4, and this rambunctious crowd comes to life. A sizzler from Maddie Hurst. Kill number 13 on the night. Addie Smith has come into the front row for Carson-Newman. As Sophia Beard continues to build upon her strong 3rd set, she picks up a block and Catawba gets on the board. Riley Hill on to serve. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going back to 11 and white for Carson-Newman. Maddie Hurst. No answer out of the middle for Catawba against Maddie Hurst. Addie Smith at the service line. Foster responds with a kill of her own. The middle's going back and forth. Foster hasn't been outstanding offensively much of tonight. That's just her 3rd kill. But she's done it elsewhere. 3 blocks, 3 service aces for the all-sack middle blocker. Hill responds to Hurst, but no stopping her this time around. A strong up from Riley Hill, but one thing you can't do, you can't give Maddie Hurst another chance. And Dizakowski picks up an ace. We've seen the service line be best friends with Carson-Newman. We've also seen it be their worst enemy. They like how the net treated them there. Ace number 8 on the night for the Eagles. Hurst again. Hill this time has a cleaner read. A dime of a pass from Cherry is cemented into the hardwood by Osmus. And here is a look at the Carson-Newman offense that we saw in set 1. Firing on all cylinders in a pivotal 4th set. Not in her house, says Maddie Hurst. Second time we've seen that tonight from Maddie Hurst. Just pops up and maybe got away with a net violation there. But Hurst is going to take it no matter what. Another block for the star sophomore as Sophia Beard in a much-needed spot for Catawba picks up her 9th kill. Beard has been averaging 3.7 kills per set over her last 3 matches, has had a dozen kills in each of her last 2, as Osmus says raise the roof inside Holt Fieldhouse. Starting to find her form, gets her 9th kill, and it's an early 4-point advantage for Carson-Newman. This offense that is so wrinkly, not because of its age, it's one of the younger teams in the conference, but because there's so many different ways they can hurt you, so many players in the folds, starting to find their form once again. And there's a strong response from Jordan Duznak for Catawba. Saw a substitution at the service line, another one of those players that you can look at for Carson-Newman. It was Madison Wallman. She checks out as Osmus muscles it through the double block. And there is kill number 10 for Emerson Osmus. 5 straight matches with double-figure kills for Emerson Osmus. Her and Maddie Hurst have been on an absolute tear. We've seen Maddie Hurst most of the night. Emerson Osmus starting to come alive. Number 5 is certainly online now. Powering this Carson-Newman offense to an electrifying start to set 4. Outside to Smith. Off the block, gets picked up by Rose. Rogers into the middle. Dzikowski's there. Catawba cries for an illegal attack, a save, but capitalized by Osmus. The Eagles come storming out of their nest in set 4, the first to double figures. It's a 10-4 lead, and Brent Ferguson and Catawba going to take a timeout. Kat Collins challenging her team between sets. They have answered the call. They're looking to force set 5. We'll be back after this on the Eagles Sports Network. Back inside Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman's offense has awoken once again, hitting .467 in this third set. 8 kills, just 1 attacking error on 15 swings. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Catawba with a 2-1 lead overall in the match, but Carson-Newman has found its stride once more. Out of the timeout, Catawba looking to have an answer. They've been so strong coming out of timeouts all night so far. Smith tried to muscle it through the block. It's kept alive. Turned away but covered. And a free ball in system. To the outside, it's Osmus. Emerson Osmus had 7 kills with 7 errors coming into this fourth set. She's got 6 kills, no errors, midway through set 4. Duznak with a much-needed point for Catawba, utilizing the block and swiping it off the hands. Gets a point back for the Indians. As some substitutions come in. Tammy Bodo comes out and Haley Moffitt checks back in. She's in to serve. A 6-2 offense that is run by Bren Ferguson. Cagle, the roll shot. Smith slides in. There's no stopping number 5 in white. This is one of the all-time performances in a single set by a player. For someone that had been locked in a refrigerator, they have burst out and are sizzling hot. A service ace from Osmus, and it's another Catawba timeout. Osmus had 7 kills through 3 sets. She has 7 kills in this 4th set, and she is responsible for 8 of the 13 points for Carson-Newman to begin this 4th set. What a response for the sophomore. We'll take another quick break here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back after this. Where were you when Emerson Osmus took over the 4th set on a Friday night inside Holt Fieldhouse against the Catawba College Catawba Indians? And there she is at the service line, fresh off an ace. Bren Ferguson burns her 2nd timeout in this 4th frame. Carson-Newman trying to even this match at 2 apiece. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Osmus can do it all. A strong dig out of a rocketing swing from Catawba. Tizakowski just creeps it over the tape. Osmus with the pipe from the back row. There's Rose. Osmus diving in to keep it alive off the swing from Rogers. Rogers tries again. Can't find its way to the hardwood. So Smith goes cross court and is too strong. Bren Ferguson using another timeout. As I said, after her first timeout, Catawba's been doing a great job responding out of their own timeouts. Well, they didn't do a great job in that first timeout. We'll see how the second one goes. Ferguson, a stellar player in her own right, all Pac-10 setter while at Washington State. Addie Smith came into the front row to start this 4th frame, and she makes her presence felt. Attacking Riley Hill, smashing it down the line. Smith gets in on the block, but then Beard has an answer, deflecting it off her arms. And Sophia Beard gets into double figures, 10 kills, just 1 error on the night. Has had 8 kills across her last 2 frames. Back set to Hurst, she's turned away. Rogers comes from the back row, there is Osmus. Tizakowski, too strong. Cries for a touch from Carson-Newman. They don't get it. And Catawba inches closer, bringing it down to a 6-point deficit. Cherry goes to Hurst, and she is turned away. Running into a solo brick wall of Matrina Foster. Something we haven't seen at all tonight. Maddie Hurst is stuffed at the net. Tizakowski. 3-0 run from Catawba is stopped as Dizikowski elevates above the rest. Beard with a good receive. Foster through the middle. A back set to Smith into the cross court. Dizikowski turned away. Here comes Osmus from the back row. Rogers with a nice read. Looked like it would have been a double contact. And this long rally continues, but Hurst turns it to an end. 16 kills for Maddie Hurst. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a Maddie Hurst interview tomorrow alongside Randa DeCrow. Cherry goes for the dump, but there is nowhere to go. Foster was waiting for it. Foster has turned into a one-woman wrecking crew up at the net. Couple of solo blocks and a last string of points. He's got 5 blocks on the night. Gets a hand on another Hurst swing. Goes to Dizikowski with a roll shot. Beard from the outside, tipped up by Cherry. And Foster got her hand on it, but her and Duznak could not do enough to slow down Annie Dizikowski. She gets into double figures. That's kill number 10. 3 Eagles with 10 or more kills, paced by Maddie Hurst. Emerson Osmus has come back into the front row as Duznak muscles it through the double block of Cherry and Hurst. And so as we come into the midway point of this 4th frame, the roles are reversed from what we've seen over the last 2. Lead as big as 7 for Catawba over the last 2 sets. They trailed 17-10, and Carson-Newman's gone on a run. Do the Indians have a similar answer? Hill comes flying in from the back row. Hurst tried to smack it down, but it is kept alive. To the outside with Duznak, there's Hayfie. Cherry, the back set to Hurst. And it's back up to a 7-point lead for Carson-Newman. Rogers with the roll shot over. Here's Osmus from a tight angle. And the first error of the 4th set for Emerson Osmus. Osmus gets another swing. And she'll get the kill there. 4 touches against Catawba as Carson-Newman inches closer to forcing a 5th set. They have been so dangerous when it gets to 5 sets as Cherry picks up an ace. And everything that we saw go wrong in sets 2 and 3 for Carson-Newman has started to come out on the positive end. Those errors are turning to aces, and those deficits are turning into 8-point advantages. Rogers. What a save from Hayfie. It comes back over. Rogers again attacks Hayfie and has to put her hands up in defense. I think Lily Kate Rogers was a little upset that Trinity Hayfie had a stellar save. Went straight back at Hayfie's dome. Catawba trying to find some momentum. Trailing by 7, Carson-Newman just needing 5 more points as Cardello joins the offensive onslaught. First kill for Bella Cardello. Tapped over, and what a save from Smith. Absolutely outstanding work from Addie Smith. Saves that point, and Dizakowski is a benefactor on the offensive end. Hafey comes flying in, but nobody's there to save it except Brianna DeCrow down courtside. Main media contact for this women's volleyball team. She doesn't quite know what to do with the ball and finally gets it to the official. Ray taking a night off the headset, and she does such a stellar job with this volleyball coverage. Smith, hard swing, nice read by Hill, and into the cross court goes Beard. 11 kills for Sophia Beard. And if you're Catawba and you're trying to build some momentum, it starts with number 1 in the front row. As Lily Kate Rogers is in the back serving. Cardello uses that block of Waddles and Beard, and Carson-Newman sits 2 points away from forcing that decisive 5th set. Pressure heightens in the 5th set. Just 15 points is where these two teams will race to. As Waddles joins in on the offensive end. Hits one off a speaker inside Holt Fieldhouse. Off the deflection on the Carson-Newman defensive end. Osmus is handcuffed, but Dizakowski keeps it alive. Goes long. Catawba trying to string points together. Riley Hill will have the serve. Dizakowski off a deflection. Hill with a one-armed up. Osmus again just jams it alive as Hill comes flying into the back row. Beard once again off the block. Hafey flies in. Smith the soft touch. There's Cagle. Hafey responds to Beard once again. As Dizakowski uses the soft touch. And Carson-Newman is on set point. This crowd coming to life, led by the student section. The serve from Smith. It is a tough one, and it's a free ball. In-system set to Hurst. There will be a 5th set. Maddie Hurst sends us to 5. 18 kills for Maddie Hurst. And Carson-Newman responds after 2 consecutive set wins from Catawba with a dominant 25-17 win in set 4. A .246 hitting percentage for Carson-Newman, powered by Emerson Osmus, who had 7 kills through 3 sets. Well, in that 4th set, she had 8 alone with just 1 error. She's got a double-double with 19 digs as well. Blair Cherry, 45 assists. Tune in, folks. 5th set is on its way on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman answers the bell, and this match will be going to a decisive fifth set inside Holt Fieldhouse to kick off homecoming weekend. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Let's take a look at the stats through 4 sets. Carson-Newman hitting .214. They've hit over 200 in 5 consecutive matches. And they were dominant in that 4th set. 25-17, answering back after Catawba won the prior 2 sets. And Emerson Osmus, she has come alive. 8 kills in that 4th set, had 7 through the prior 3 sets combined. And so, of course, in set 5, things change a little bit. Rather than going to 25, these 2 teams will race to 15 points. And looking at this season's stats in 5 sets, Carson-Newman 2-0. Catawba is 1-2. And a fun little nugget to know, Catawba's last win inside Holt Fieldhouse, which I said is 9 years ago, October 1st, 2016. How many sets did that take? It took 5. We'll see if history will repeat itself for Catawba. Lily Kate Rogers begins set 5. And Addie Smith, who was inserted in the front row, throws the first punch. Smith, who is a versatile player, can both set and swing, has come alive offensively. Osmus with a nice dig. And a free ball from Dizikowski. Sophia Beard into the cross court. Hafey has a response. And it's swatted down by Waddles and Cagle on the double block, and Catawba gets on the board. So important for both sides to be within arm's length throughout this entire set if they want any chance at picking up the win. Dizikowski from the other side continues her strong night. Kill number 13 for the sophomore outside hitter. And just a smart roll shot. Layering it over the block. And this Holt Fieldhouse crowd that is filled in nicely to kick off homecoming weekend. Starting to come to life, but Dizikowski sends that into the net. So these 2 teams trading points in the early goings of this decisive 5th set. Changes being made as Tammy Bodo comes in. Bren Ferguson, a former setter herself, runs a 6-2. Moffitt checks out as Bodo comes in. Set outside to Osmus, and she powers it through that double block of Foster and Duznak. 16 kills for Emerson Osmus. Wallman checks in, came in once in that 4th set to serve. And a strong serve there leads to a free ball. Cherry goes to the setter dump. All pieces of this Carson-Newman offense coming alive, and she just saw all that open hardwood. Cardello, a solo roof. It's up to a 3-point advantage for Carson-Newman, spurred by a 3-0 run. A sizzling shot from Jordan Duznak brings Catawba back within 2. And so important in these sets, especially the 5th set. 3 points can feel like a mountain to climb. Allie Rose came in to serve. Here comes Osmus. turned away, but it is covered by Carson-Newman. Eagles cover once again. Ausmus tries to push it down the line, and she squeaks it through. Finding a sliver of space. Cherry with an outstanding serve, but a free ball from Rose will not get over. Nearing the midway point of set 5. Cherry fresh off a service ace. Rogers, the soft touch into the middle. Hafey's pancake dig was no match. Carson-Newman looking for a side out to cross over the midway point in set 5. Tough serve and a free ball from Ausmus works out. The roll shot creeps its way over and drops in front of Foster. And of course at the midway point in set 5, two teams switch sides for an abbreviated timeout. Carson-Newman doubling up Catawba so far, an 8-4 lead. 7 points away from making it 5 straight wins. Catawba needing another strong run of form to answer back and try and pick up its first win inside Holt Fieldhouse since 2016. Winners of 3 straight, someone's chain of wins coming to an end tonight. And out of the abbreviated timeout, we are back underway. Ausmus can do no wrong. Timeout taken by Catawba. It's a 5-point advantage, and Carson-Newman sits 6 points away from storming back to take a 5-set thriller over Catawba. Emerson Ausmus, 19 kills. Leading the way in this match. Back after this on the Eagle Sports Network. It's a 9-4 lead for Carson-Newman over Catawba in set 5 on the Eagle Sports Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. Glad you could join me. It has been a thriller between these two conference foes. Carson-Newman trying to pick up its 5th consecutive win to kickstart homecoming weekend. And out of the Catawba timeout, it's Jordan Duznak to bring the Catawba Catawba Indians back within 4. First to 15 is the winner in the 5th set. Carson-Newman sitting 6 points away from doing that. Rogers down the line, and that's back-to-back points out of the timeout for Catawba. Bren Ferguson, in her 4th season at the helm of Catawba, has used her timeouts well and has sparked her team coming out of them for a response. Great dig from Rose out of the back row. The roll shot in the middle, kept up by Cherry. Smith with the cut shot. In-system opportunity. And a set. Too far back for Rogers. Carson-Newman is the first to double figures. Hill slides in to save it, and a free ball from Rogers. Cherry out wide to Dizakowski. And Catawba will take its second timeout. Catawba rattled off 2 straight points out of the timeout. The Eagles have answered with 2 of their own, and they sit 4 points away from taking set 5. Take another quick break on the Eagles Sports Network. It is a quick timeout between the two. 11-6 the lead for Carson-Newman. Matt Scalza with you on the Eagles Sports Network. 4 points away from taking this one in 5. Trinity Hayfie will have the serve coming out of another Catawba timeout. No more left to burn for Brent Ferguson. Still 2 in the chamber for Kat Collins if needed. Rogers out of the timeout. Walled off in a powerhouse block from Maddie Hurst and Addie Smith. Carson-Newman, the magic numbers down to 3. And Sydney Waddles gets a much-needed point for Catawba. Pushing it through the block from Carson-Newman. Dizakowski with the roll shot. The big 3 for Carson-Newman, and Hurst, Osmus, and Dizakowski on fire tonight. 19 for Osmus, 18 for Hurst, and 15 kills for Annie Dizakowski. Serve goes long from Addie Smith. And so shifts back to Catawba that needs to rattle off at least 6 points to keep this one going. It's going to be tough to do that as Maddie Hurst pushes the Eagles to match point. 19 kills for Hurst. Her and Osmus tied for a match high. And here comes the Holt Fieldhouse crowd. They'll have to wait a little longer as we'll go to match point number 2. Rachel Ehlers will come in place of Annie Dizakowski. Tammy Bodo will have the serve for Catawba. Hurst. Check, please. It's over. "20 kills for Maddie Hurst. Take a bow as the Eagles answer back and win in 5. Five straight for Carson-Newman. They get up to 17-3 on the season, and they continue to defend home court well. 4 straight won at home, 7 straight won against Catawba inside this building. It may have taken 5 sets to get there, but the Eagles do enough, powered by their big 3. Maddie Hurst with 20 kills, hit .429 on the night. Osmus with 19. Had 12 across the last 2 sets. And Annie Dizakowski with 15. The Eagles hit .556 in that 5th set and a decisive one at that. They hit above 200 for the 6th consecutive match. Blair Cherry, another double-double, 52 assists. Emerson Osmus also had 20 digs to go along with her 19-kill performance. As we bring this night to a close, looking ahead for both these teams, Carson-Newman will be back in action on Tuesday. They'll hit the road, take on Emory and Henry, who sit in last in the South Atlantic Conference. Meanwhile, Catawba gets 6 days off. They'll be on the road next Thursday, October 30th, to take on Anderson, who sits in second place in the South Atlantic Conference. A look back at the stats from the match overall, 246 hitting percentage, and you look at the kill margin for Carson-Newman. Absolutely clinical. Lily Kate Rogers, 14 kills, and Sophia Beard with 11 paced the way for Catawba. But that'll do it for tonight's broadcast from inside Holt Fieldhouse. A special thanks to our entire crew, our camera operators in Noah Penland, Kennedy Goins, and Colin Kempfert, our replay director, Ian Johnson, and our main director, Andrew Rogers. I'm Matt Scalzo saying so long from Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman gets the win in 5 over Catawba. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night.